The park on the corner of Maple Street was nothing more than a forgotten piece of land. The grass was overgrown, litter was scattered across the cracked pavement, and the once vibrant playground was now rusted and abandoned. The residents of the neighborhood had long given up on it, walking past it without a second glance. It was just another reminder of how things used to be, a place where children once laughed and played. But now it was merely a ghost of happier times. But for Emily, it was different. Where others saw decay and neglect, she saw potential. Emily was only 10 years old, but she had a heart full of dreams and an imagination that knew no limits. She had always believed in the power of small changes, and the park, to her, was the perfect place to start. One Saturday morning, armed with a small gardening kit she had saved up for Emily, set off to the park. Her parents were skeptical at first, but they had always admired her determination and let her pursue what made her happy. Clutching a bag filled with flower seeds of all colors, Emily walked into the park with hope in her heart. She started by clearing a small patch near the entrance, pulling out weeds and gathering the scattered trash. The work was hard and the sun was relentless, but she didn't mind. Every handful of dirt she removed, every tiny sprout she planted, felt like she was breathing life back into something forgotten. At first, no one paid her much attention. A few passers-by gave her curious glances, but Emily didn't care. She hummed to herself as she dug small holes in the earth and gently placed the seeds inside. She watered them carefully, hoping that one day they would grow into something beautiful. Days turned into weeks, and slowly things began to change. The seeds started to sprout, tiny green shoots pushing through the soil. Emily tended to them every day after school, talking to them as if they were her friends. Her enthusiasm was contagious, and soon a few other kids from the neighborhood began to join her. "What are you doing?" asked Jack, a boy from down the street. "I'm planting dreams," Emily replied with a grin. Jack looked confused at first, but soon found himself enjoying the work. More children joined, each bringing something: new watering cans, colorful pebbles to decorate the flower beds, and even old toys to create a playful touch. The park was coming back to life, little by little. Word spread, and soon the adults in the neighborhood took notice. Mrs. Thompson, who lived across the street, donated a bench she no longer used. Mr. Hernandez, the retired carpenter, offered to fix the broken swings. Parents who once rushed past the park now stopped to admire the changes, smiling at the sight of their children working together. Emily's parents were amazed at how one small idea had turned into something so beautiful. "You've really done something special here, sweetheart," her mother said one evening as they walked through the park, now bursting with color and life. But Emily wasn't done yet. She wanted the park to be more than just a place for flowers. She wanted it to be a place where dreams could grow. She painted a wooden sign and placed it at the entrance, calling it the Dream Garden. Beneath it, she wrote, "Plant a dream, watch it grow." The sign inspired even more people. Local artists painted murals on the old walls, filling them with bright colors and inspiring messages. A small reading corner was set up with donated books, where children could come and escape into new worlds. Musicians started coming on weekends to play their instruments, filling the air with music and laughter. One day, a reporter from the local newspaper came to visit. She was amazed at the transformation and asked Emily how it all started. "I just wanted to make the park beautiful again," Emily said, smiling shyly. "I thought if I planted something small, maybe it would grow into something big." The article was published with the headline, "The Girl Who Planted Dreams." People from other neighborhoods came to see the park, and some were even inspired to start similar projects in their own communities. As the seasons changed, so did the park. The flowers bloomed in the spring, offering a riot of colors. In the summer, families gathered for picnics under the shady trees. Fall brought with it crunchy leaves and pumpkin decorations, and even in the winter, the park stood proud with twinkling fairy lights that made it look magical. Emily often sat on the bench that Mrs. Thompson had donated, looking around at all that had been achieved. She realized that dreams didn't need to be grand. They just needed someone to believe in them. What started with a handful of seeds had turned into a thriving sanctuary for the entire neighborhood. One afternoon, as Emily watered the plants, an elderly man approached her. He had been watching the park's transformation from a distance for months, but had never spoken to her before. "You've done something wonderful here, young lady," he said, his voice filled with emotion. "I used to bring my grandchildren here years ago, and I never thought I'd see it come to life again. Thank you." Emily smiled, feeling a warmth spread through her heart. "It's not just me," she said. "It's everyone. We all planted dreams together." Years passed and Emily grew up, but the park remained. It became a symbol of hope and community, a reminder that even the smallest actions could bring about meaningful change. People who moved away would return just to see the Dream Garden, and each time they did, they were reminded of the little girl who believed in the power of dreams. One day, as Emily walked through the park, she saw a young girl kneeling in the dirt, planting a new batch of flowers. She smiled to herself, knowing that dreams, just like flowers, continued to bloom with a little care and a lot of love.